So you mentioned not outliving your money or outliving your retirement. Obviously, that's a big factor. Nobody wants to do that anyway. They want to make sure it's spread out evenly and it's making sense for them as they age.
Yeah.
How does choosing to age in place kind of impact the estate planning aspect for someone? Like, I mean, are there implications on that?
The big issue here is if you choose to or plan to age in place, you're also saying that I'm going to stay here in this house, which means if I need medical health care, if I need home health services, if I need custodial care, the type of care you might get in a assisted living facility, for example, paying a person to come into your home at first might not be quite as expensive, especially if you're still married and you have a spouse that can be a support person in that, where you're paying a person a few hours a day or a few days a week. As we age in place and need more and more services, getting someone in the home 24 hours a day can be very expensive, and aging in place and getting support from healthcare services can actually be more costly. So having, again, that buffer or that equity in the home or wherever the resources may be, that's really a risk that you take and something that you need to plan ahead and account for. And you're asking about estate planning. What's that going to do to the value of your estate? It leaves that a little bit open-ended, wouldn't you say? It makes it such that there's an exposure there. And if a person moves into, let's say, a continuous care community, they're paying an upfront cost, they're paying a monthly amount. They believe that they're going to manage the cost of that through the rest of their life. And if they need care, they're going to be taken care of. So they have a pretty good idea of what might be left over. The person who ages in place, everything goes according to plan, and then things deteriorate and they need a lot of services in the home. They need to make a lot of improvements. And now all of a sudden you're spending more out of that estate than perhaps that you thought you would, and there might be less left over. So you have to think about all of those things. And I would say you have to prioritize that. What's more important, having a certain estate that you're going to leave behind or aging in place and living comfortably? That's part of that conversation you need to have with your children and children with your parents. As children, let them know, I don't need the inheritance. Don't do that for me. You take care of yourselves as best as you can, unless it's the other way around. You really could use the help, I suppose. And parents, let your kids know, listen, this is what we want to do. This is how we see things are going to play out. And there's the possibility that we could use our assets to do this, but this is how we want to live, and respect that, and treat that and honor that with dignity. That's really, I think, what aging in place is all about.